What's up, everyone? So, in this little ecom chat, I guess it's not a podcast, not really an interview, but this is like one of my good friends, Nate. He's literally the only person I refer clients to, like consistently on Google Ads. Uh, Him and his business partner, Kian, obviously, they kill it, by the way. So, I wanted to bring him on the channel because obviously you guys know that I talk a lot about the retention stuff and like email marketing, but Nate is a real expert when it comes to media buying, particularly on the Google and YouTube side. So I feel like we just take some time to shoot the shit today and see where it goes. Drop some
Yeah,
gems.
man. I appreciate the kind words, and same to you. You know, you're our dedicated email partner. We've tested a lot of other email agencies, and we found the most consistency with you, which is the biggest thing. You know, with other email agencies that we've had in the past, even just speaking to some of our clients that have had bad email agencies in the past, they've said the number one thing is communication. You
Yep.
know, they get good results, but the communication's not there, and I think that's one thing that you've been so consistent with.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure like out of the every single client you've given us have given us multiple brands or made a referral. Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
exactly. I mean, I would say the same to you. I definitely some of the clients that you've given us have done the same. As long as you are, I was just watching, and I don't do this often, but I was watching an Alex Hormozy video the other day. It just popped up on my feed, and he was saying you really got to get to the point where you market a good enough service that it does the marketing for you. You know, your
For sure.
service just does the marketing.
For sure. For sure. Bro, it literally got to the point last like October where like I would literally do a demo call with someone and I forget I did the demo call with them because there was just so many coming from referrals because like they everyone wanted emails before Black Friday, like they were scrambling. So
Yeah, exactly. We got
um
we got to the point last October, November where we stopped taking on clients completely. We had to fix a
yeah.
lot of our back end. And same with you, man. Like we're getting a lot of referrals. We haven't run a single dollar of paying ads for this agency, and we never will. It's all just been
Oh, neither have we. Yeah. We don't even
right.
outreach anymore. It's crazy. It's
Exactly. We
actually
don't
like
have
life is pretty
anything
good,
in
I'm not gonna
referral.
lie.
That's
But
what's gonna happen, man.
I actually wanted to ask because I know how we maintain service quality on the email side, but obviously I started off in the ad space as well. And with a bit of scale, bro, like like a good media buyer versus a shit one, night and day difference, right? Because they
Yeah.
understand they a good media buyer will understand ecom, whereas a bad media buyer just knows how to like increase budget or like I don't know, target a specific keyword or whatever. So like how do you guys maintain a high level of service even though you've grown so quickly?
Yeah, I'll give you the like 1 minute overview real quick about my history with Google because that'll lead into how we maintain service delivery. So I started with Google like 7 to 8-ish years ago, might even be 9 at this point when it was about Google AdWords, not Google Ads.
Mm-hmm.
And I had learned a lot since then, but I started an agency with a couple of my close friends. At the time, Chris Reinhardt, Sebastian Giorgio, we started up an agency called Digital Wealth, and we scaled it pretty quickly. Obviously, Sebastian has a pretty big name in the space, and that got us a lot of clients in just about like a month, 2 months. We were racking up 30, 40, 50 clients, which overwhelmed the hell out of all of us because we didn't know what to do. We had the service there. We understood that we are the best with Google
Yeah.
and can deliver the best results. But the issue was we were getting to the point where, I mean, if any agency took on 30 clients in a month, you're going to get
Oh,
overrun.
bro, my head is gonna explode. Like,
Right. And that was
yeah.
like, this was about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And we didn't know what the hell to do because this is the first agency that is scaling in the way that it did. I've owned agencies in the past, but never to where you had to increase your workload 30x in a matter of a month. So
Yeah.
we learned a lot through that. One of my clients at the time, one of my first clients was Keon, my business partner right now in my current agency. He was a client of mine at Digital Wealth.
Yeah.
And he was a unique client because he had a business partner as well. And it was going well for some time, but then he broke off with them and started doing it alone. And he started learning Google from me while we were in the agency relationship together. And then since then, he's just been grinding at learning Google, like every single day. Hired a bunch of mentors, did X, Y, and Z, and he grew within Google very, very fast. And fast forward a couple years, we split off from digital wealth as everyone was just going their own separate way. And I started Vista, which I could now take the X number of years I've had in digital wealth and my previous agencies and make sure that we don't form the same mistakes.
Right.
We scaled up very slowly with Vista, and we did that with intention. We made sure that all of our processes were in place before we started scaling. So we might have gotten bored at the sense of all of our 10 clients at the beginning were doing extremely well, but we can't scale past it because we need to make sure that we have a system for bringing on killer media buyers, a system for making sure client comms are there, etc. And that's what we attest the majority of our success to. Kian and I are very good at identifying when there is an issue or there's an issue that's going to come down the line. We're very good at predicting when that's going to hit, and we solve it before it happens. So the biggest issue that we've been facing through the entire life of this agency has been client communication. It's really tough getting extremely good results and also being able to communicate with the client
Sure.
whenever we need to, right? Because we have clients all over the world. So being able to do so has been the only issue at this point that we've been facing. The
Mm-hmm.
service delivery is much easier when you have a system on the back end to be able to train media buyers to be as good as you and to make sure the responsibilities are not to the point where they are doing too much within the accounts and have too much responsibility, but at the same time, when you think of 80/20, they're doing the 80/20 to help get you more efficient within those accounts. There's my
Right.
TLDR.
So you guys still like handle some of, as in like you still perform stuff within the ad accounts right now?
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the time we don't want to grow too big to where we can't manage the strategy.
Got it.
And I just don't have a care to get that big. Like that's going to be to
Right.
the point where we're doing 400K or 500K a month, where we're just not going to be able to handle strategy. We're going to have to outsource that to individuals.
Right.
And I don't necessarily want to get to that point. Maybe in the future we will when our systems are more dialed in than they are now. But Kian and I really enjoy doing the strategy, and we're meeting a lot of great people. Like we've met you along the way. We've met a lot of guys that you've introed us to, a lot of guys that Kian, even in his like building that he just moved over
Oh
to, is one
yeah, Dan. Dan was he's one of my
exactly.
clients. Yeah,
Dan's a
yeah,
beast, man. We met a lot of guys there, and Dan's introduced us to some of like the coolest guys in the ecom community, and I really like working with them. But I don't want to grow to the point where like you hear this with some of the biggest agencies, they don't even know how many people they've brought in the past week. They don't know who they're talking to, who the ex client is. I don't
Well,
want to get to that point yet.
once you cross like the like million a month mark with agency, honestly, as a founder, you just can't keep track anymore. Everything becomes a number, even employees, because because agency at the core of it at scale is a very metrics heavy business, like employee churn, um, like client churn, average CAC. Because at that point, you're not doing it on network unless you're like growth boutique type of thing, you know.
I
Um,
completely agree with you. I don't
yeah,
know. I've been thinking about this for quite a few years, and I told Keon this before we partnered together that I don't know if I want to push to be that million a month agency, more so because you are going to lose
yeah,
service quality down the line. And two, it's a completely different vibe of staying around 200, 300, 400K a month. It's
right.
completely different. You are running a business as you are now, but you are getting into a corporate environment and
Yes, you need like HR and shit. My God.
you need everything. Yeah, absolutely. And you have to really make the decision if that's something that you want to do. And I told Keon I'm not against us doing that down the line, but I have some hesitations doing
Mm.
that now because I don't want to lose out on service delivery down the line. And two, I just don't know if that's something I want to get involved with. I work 80 to 100 hours a week and I have been for the past X number of years. I love doing that. And I don't know if I want to continue doing agency for another 10 years.
Well, the thing is, right? Um, the way I see agency is, I don't actually think it necessarily makes sense to scale that to that 10 mil a year mark because I don't know anyone that sustains that 10 mil a year mark for a
Yeah,
very long time. Because I have a couple friends who have done it, but then they also crashed. And also, you can hear the stories, right? Hawk Media, they scaled to 100 million, right? Went for an exit, but like I don't think they're 100 million anymore, right? From a revenue standpoint,
right.
because they just ended up adopting a churn and burn model. right? Because they get the sick case studies, and then the sick case studies with like really famous brands attracts the smaller ones, and then they just burn the smaller ones. Which
Yep.
long term it's like bad for rep. And then same with like Mute 6 got acquired by Dentsu for 9 figures, and they were doing like 30, 40 M's during the pandemic. Terrible acquisition on Dentsu's part. It was horrendous. But they don't care. They're a publicly traded company, right? So it was more of a valuation move. But like now Mute 6 is doing like I think 10 to 15 a year. Nowhere near the 30, 40 M's that they did during the pandemic, you
Oh,
know?
right.
So yeah.
I'm right there with you. I'm more so since I've been managing agency or been in agency for so long, I kind of I'm getting to the point where over the next couple of years, I will eventually switch or shift at least into something where I'm doing something in SaaS, utilizing my Google Ads and YouTube ads experience. So I instead want to be focusing on my business or a business that Kiana and I start together. And I don't mean an agency, but something that we, of all of the experience that we have in ecom, maybe it's an app that we developed that no one's
Yeah.
developed yet. Maybe we're building up our own stores. Maybe we're starting a SaaS, et cetera, buying out a SaaS because we're, it's funny. We work with a lot of SaaS companies and they their story is that they just bought that SaaS company from someone that had it for a decade, and then they go with us, and we're the ones scaling it to the moon. So it's like, well, why don't we get a SaaS instead and do the same thing? The issue is just the back end, figuring out all of the back end of the SaaS.
Yeah.
So down the line, I could see us doing the same thing as you in the sense of, get it to the point where the threshold of output doesn't match your
Yeah.
input, and then hover, keep it around there where you have that steady flow of clients that are doing it. They're absolutely crushing it with Google and YouTube. Keep them, just improve the results massively every single month, every single quarter, etc. Keep them on your team, and then go off and do something else that you want to do.
For sure. How many clients are you guys working with right now? What does the split look like between ecom and SaaS?
That's a good question. So we actually had more clients at the end of 2023 than we do now, but we are making much more now than we did at the end of 2023. We trimmed the fat with a lot of clients that weren't the right fit, that we thought were the right fit at the time. So right now we're hovering at right around 65 clients. And
Jesus.
the good thing is it doesn't feel like we have 65. It really feels like we have like 10 to 20 clients. And the reason I say that is because it's just so well oiled. Like we know exactly what every single client is doing. We know exactly how they are performing, everything of the sort. But yeah, we're up to about 60 to 65. Um, and a lot of those, actually, some of those clients, like 10 to 15 of those clients are clients that, we have their campaigns in a groove, and there's not a lot that the client wants us to do within them. It's making sure that they're managed and they're getting consistent results. We have companies that come from private equity groups that they want us to make sure that their results stay the same, which is a lot less work than scaling someone from 7 to 8 figures.
Interesting. Okay. Because I actually I'm not involved in the like macro strategy anymore unless there's a problem. Because yeah, like it's interesting because now for my agency, I literally just do sales calls and do the onboarding. But obviously, it's me that's laying out the initial strategy because I feel like with emails, it's because it's not top of funnel, everything is a lot more um, universal. There's obviously like variations depending on the product type, niche, blah, blah. But like largely speaking, it's very easy to transfer the strategy hat over as opposed to acquiring customers at top of funnel. Um, what's your process for getting like consistently high level talent? Because I remember hiring media buyers back in the day, bro. Like it was a huge struggle getting quality ones that can actually scale accounts. Because you can vet people for like the basic shit, right? Like, oh yeah, I know how to target keywords and da 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 da. But like, do you have the balls to actually scale an account and like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a long process for us, and I think this is one of the biggest ways that Vista, my agency, would differentiate itself. We take acquisition very seriously, and when we are going after talent acquisition, it's one, we'll be getting in contact with our hiring manager, which is handling 90% of it anyway.
Yeah.
But we've trained up that hiring manager over the past 6 months to make sure that, for instance, media buyers in general, when we're trying to get a junior or a senior media buying specialist, like they are very well vetted. That person is being sorted through 100+ applications, probably 1,000+ applications, going through first round interviews. And then if they make it, they're going through a second round interview with me. And then they're auditing an account as a test. And then they're only getting put on one account for a month as a test. And then they have a ramp up period to 5 to 8 accounts over the next 3 months just to
Oh, okay.
see if they are a good fit. And then after those first 1 to 2 months, if they're not a good fit, they're off the team. And we're doing a lot in order to train them up over those 3 months. And we wouldn't even put them on a high priority account until 6 months to a year in. It's a very long process, but at the same time, you don't want to mess it up. That's the last thing you want to do is put a media buyer that is managing the delegation of an account or
Yeah.
managing delegated tasks of an account, and then they don't do it in the way that you need it to be done. So that's how we keep up with it. We have a really good, well-oiled machine that is constantly interviewing. We are constantly interviewing. We never stop interviewing positions, and we will, even if we don't have an account for it, we will still bring that person on, because at this point, good talent is very hard to come by.
And pay like a salary just to a retainer just to keep them on. Like,
Absolutely, yeah. And we will hop on calls, train. They'll work, they'll shadow, they'll work alongside our top guys. But absolutely,
interesting. Okay. Because we train people more so up from scratch. Because I've noticed one thing, which was initially we started off by poaching from other agencies. Um, Problem with that was actually a lot of the they would carry over a lot of the bad habits in terms of like from the bigger email agencies, let's say, in terms of like communication being a bit slow, right? Um, or like they arrange campaign calendars as in a like weird way, or like they would miss little details. So we actually found training people on from scratch, because Klaviyo itself is not that hard in terms of like actually doing the account management. And then in terms of strategy, that just comes with like time under tension. You just need to hop on enough client calls, because it's more so about like picking up the lingo and being able to identify like the commonalities between the conversation, you know?
right.
Um, so yeah.
It's also helped a lot to have the experience of working with a lot of companies in the past. Like we've been able to work with everything from startups to those doing 1 billion a year, and just getting that exposure. I was noticing this, and I know Keon noticed the same just recently over the past few calls that we were taking. We have a client that we were just doing like a general routine checkup outside of the Google Ads account. We were looking at the business as a whole, and we saw their conversion rate was dropping. And we know that we didn't change anything that would have dropped the conversion rate in Google. So we started crawling the site and asking them, like, what are you guys doing on the back end? Are you changing anything, X, Y, and Z? And we found out that they have been changing a few things, but they haven't been watching their conversion rate. So we were matching up the top selling products, X, Y, and Z to figure out what happened, and just offering them a full length of the suggestions, a full list of suggestions based on our experience,
Yeah.
and already seeing a noticeable lift in conversion rate. So it's just having that time under so many different clients, that being
Yeah.
able to give that expertise away.
Do you I know that you guys recently have been cracking YouTube ads for people. Um, the only time I've seen YouTube ads make work is in the high ticket info, like course space, right? How do you guys get CAC low enough on YouTube ads to like for it to justify like a $50 to $100 average
Yeah.
order value store, or does it
I'll
not?
say this, man. Outside of native, YouTube is definitely one of the hardest to crack for ecom, at least. It's probably one of the easiest for lead gen. Lead gen is
Yeah,
extremely easy to get high quality leads, but for ecom, it is a beast. It is very hard, and it's only going to work if you have a really good creative system. Now,
okay,
of course, we can have that creative system on the back end, and we can charge our clients for it in order to create those creatives. But a lot of the time, those brands that we are working with are already doing enough revenue where they have a full creative system on their end. So we
Okay.
can lean on that and use all of their previous winners, all of their current winners, and any winners that they have right now that we can convert from a 9 by 16 vertical to a horizontal, so it's native in YouTube. We're able to do a lot with what they already have. And it comes down to making sure that you target the right demographic and you are testing creatives heavily. You have to be very smart with how you test creatives, the bidding strategies you use, et cetera, et cetera. I could have a full hour-long call about the settings that you need just to appropriately run a YouTube ad campaign.
Interesting. What would you say is the biggest difference between Google and Meta?
So Kian has a really good example of this, and
Okay.
I'll use it here. So Facebook is very like door-to-door sales. Like you are going up to the next person and saying, "Hey, do you like this ad? Do you like this ad? Would you buy from me? Would you buy from me?" Right? Because that's what you're doing with Meta. You're shoving an ad in front of someone's face, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you're trying to follow, for lack of a better term, an ADA format: attention, interest, desire, and action. You're trying to get their attention right off the rip with that hook. You're
Right.
trying to build their interest, gain their desire, and then push them to convert on your website. With Google, it's a bit different. You are going based on search intent. So you're going after people that are already looking for what you are selling. If I'm selling this pen or this pheromone perfume, I'm already going and looking for that pheromone perfume. So you'll see a much higher conversion rate on Google than you will on Facebook. But at the same time, you might see a higher CPC or cost per click on Google than you will on Facebook. It changes a bit when you get into YouTube because YouTube is very similar to how
Yeah.
Meta performs. The only
Yeah.
difference,
Yeah.
this is a massive difference that people in the YouTube community need to understand. They do treat it right now. They're trying to treat YouTube like Meta, which is okay, and you will see success. But there is one differentiating factor that you have to keep into consideration, and it is, why do you go on Meta? Why do you go on YouTube? When you look at why you're going on Meta, you're often going there just to kill time and just to like mindlessly scroll. And nowadays, a lot of doom scrolling, just going on Meta, Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. But when you're going on YouTube, you're often going out onto YouTube with intention. And that intention could be watching memes. It could be watching a video on, I don't know, anything of the sort. And if or how to do your hair, right? It could be a video of how to do your hair, and now you're going to get a video ad with my hair extensions on it. So there's more relevance with YouTube. There's much more, in my opinion, intent behind YouTube, but
Mm.
it is a lot harder to run. It's much more scalable and consistent, in my opinion, as we've seen with a lot of our accounts. We've been able to scale them from 0 to 10K a day and spend pretty simply, as long as we have the right ads and the audiences that we're targeting. And then we have a ton of supporting campaigns under it to make sure the return on ad spend's where they need it to be.
Got it. Because the way I was thinking of, I've always thought about Google like this, right? Like if it's because it's based on search volumes and stuff, surely it's like quite easy for it to cap out. And you're not technically scaling to a top of funnel audience because it's not completely cold, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let me
like
give
if you're
you a
looking for
perfect
hair
example.
extensions, you're looking
Yeah,
for hair extensions, right? So it's mainly about making your ad the best on the market and positioning you guys as the best as opposed to all of the other options as well.
right.
Um,
I have a perfect example for you. I wish I had it on me, but we have a client that is in a very unique niche, and I actually love this client. But anyway, they're in like a productivity niche, right? So let's say I'm just gonna bullshit and say, let's say they're in the nootropic niche, and so it's strictly for productivity, focus, energy. That's how we'd be targeting the product, like health supplements for focus, energy supplements, et cetera, et cetera. But that niche is going to cap at some point. So then you're starting to look at different avenues, right? And instead of just looking at that, maybe I'm going to run my traffic to a listicle, which is a top 5 reasons why page, and just as an example. And then I'm targeting keywords like, um, why am I getting fog? How to cure brain fog? Um, how to work longer throughout the day? And now I'm going after these long informational keywords that is a completely different audience than someone that's already looking for energy supplements. I'm now going down a problem solving route, which is a completely separate audience that I can now try and cap out. But then
Right.
you're getting into the field of YouTube after you do that. You have to get some sort of top of funnel after that, and that's where YouTube and display come in.
Got it. And then when it comes to let's say you go into uh what causes brain fog or something, or like how can I prevent brain fog, right? When you're selling like a nootropic, it kind of indirectly helps. So does that mean you guys would need to build like the relevant SEO articles? Because there needs to be intermediary, right? You can't just drive it to, people are searching up, oh, how do I fix my brain fog? Boom, landing page for like
Exactly.
product page for like nootropic supplement, right?
Yeah,
So are
exactly.
you guys handling that back end as well, or because that's like a brand new service in it of itself, right? Like
Yep.
building PDPs, advertorials, all of this stuff.
Again, because of how high level our clients are, a lot of the time they will want to carry that lift and do it
Okay,
themselves.
got it.
But at the same time, yes, that's exactly what we need. We need landing pages, which we consider to be bridge pages or squeeze pages, that are taking them from the ad, they bring them to this bridge page, and that bridge page is either an advertorial format or a listicle where it's like top 5 reasons, top 7, top 10 reasons why let's just say supplement one cures brain fog or helps with brain fog, and
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
run through all of it, and then it will bring them to the PDP, the product page, to sell them on it. And we've done this for so many different brands right now, and we've seen a lot of success with it. We just actually launched a brand a few weeks ago, and they weren't seeing any success, like right from the ground up. They weren't seeing any success with Facebook. We introduced a listicle that is just the top 5 reasons why, like this is the #1 rated product in 2024. And immediately they're now hitting a 5% conversion rate repeatedly, and they're profitable at low scale. But it's a brand new product that no one's ever seen before. And it just shows you the power of a listicle.
Interesting.
But
Yeah,
we would
because
do that
especially
for
if it's
every
like
landing.
third party, it really warms up like the user.
Absolutely. And we do that for every single angle we can target, as long as it has enough keyword volume to justify it. Brain fog, we could talk about fatigue, everything.
That's interesting. Oh, by the way, I've heard some of my clients say like long form VSLs ran as like ads work really well on Meta. Do you find that to be the same? Like, but for specific niches like weight loss or something, do you find that to be the case with like YouTube? Can you just take those same VSLs, put it in a YouTube format, and run it as a ad, or not really?
Absolutely. It would actually probably work better on YouTube because that's what people are used to on YouTube. But that is where e-com is shifting right now. And hold us to it. I guarantee a year from now, that's what everyone is going to be talking about. But
Or like
that
VSLs? You think?
VSL style content, typical VSLs are like 45 minutes long. I
Yeah.
think what you're talking about is the
It's
like
like the
moment.
10 to 30 minute mark. That's
Yeah,
generally what
right.
I'm seeing. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of these guys are now getting up from doing like 30-second videos, 40-second videos to now doing like 3-minute, 3.5 minute videos, which is still long for Facebook. Now, the only thing that they are doing different, or let me see how I can word this without giving too much away. I'll say affiliate marketing has been doing this since the dawn of time. Affiliate marketers. So if you look at places like affiliate networks like ClickBank, Digi24, if you look at all of these different um, affiliate networks, this is how they market. They've been telling us how to do it for the past X number of decades. You get them to a very clickbait image or video. It can be, for instance, like last year it was Alpiline, which was a weight loss product. And they would have a video that was something along the lines of like, my grandma just told me about this ice hack that she's been doing every single morning, and it's helped her lose 34 pounds over the past 4 weeks or something of the sort. Something outrageous. I'm just making it up. But then
Yeah.
they would click onto a squeeze page, which would have a 45-minute VSL. And that 45-minute VSL would only be watched by extremely high intent customers or
Yeah.
prospects, I guess you'd say at this point. And a majority of them will purchase because like who the hell is going to watch a 45-minute video and then not purchase?
Right.
So that's what affiliate marketers have been doing since the beginning, and that's how they're still doing it. And now we're kind of taking that and molding it into what can work for an official e-commerce brand. And they're
Yeah.
kind of skipping the step of sending them to that squeeze page and just initially throwing that 45-minute VSL for them right off the bat.
You know what I find interesting? And just because I've been in the space not as long as you, but I've been in it 4 years. It's like it's cyclical, right? Because back in like 2020, 2019, image ads worked pretty good, right? And then there was like when the whole carousel feature was introduced, carousel ads worked pretty good. And then people discovered video UGC ads, right? And
Yeah.
now the problem is, I feel like people are so banner blind to UGC ads in terms of, oh my God, I just unboxed this teacup. It's got so many sick features, blah, blah. Like people now know UGC is bullshit. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you actually build that trust barrier? It's through like a pattern break, right? Which is just gonna hit you with a 20-minute VSL straight away, like, you know, explain everything,
Exactly.
right? Social proof, boom, 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 boom. Um, and you see it not just in the ad space, by the way. I think you see it in like the content space as well. Like if you see, there's been narrative shifts over the years, right? Like what type of content resonated back in like 2015 to 2020 was like that whole Graham Stephan type of like financial content, and then it transitioned to like um the drop shippy, like, you know, Lambo lifestyle type of like laptop lifestyle type of shit, right? And then it transitioned to
The
like the
the biggest
Tate.
thing that's been like taking over is and this is honestly in ads too, which is
Mm,
insane how people are doing this. They're utilizing software like 11 Labs, Juggernaut, et cetera, to like really create this high quality work. But for example, a good majority of the success we've seen lately has been, and you can resonate this to what you're seeing on YouTube, is reaction videos. So like we see
on
people,
ads.
yeah, we see people that, so I'll give you an example. You obviously know on YouTube how people react to everything
Yeah.
nowadays, and they just like to see how their favorite influencer reacts to something hot. Um, Now on ads, it's a little bit different. So like let's say energy supplements, right? Um, just to keep that congruent, we will have ads that are podcast style of people saying, "Have you heard about this supplement, this energy supplement that's taking the nootropic industry by storm, et cetera, et
Oh,
cetera."
yeah.
And they'll be on a podcast
Yeah.
doing that, talking about it, and it's like all deep fake. It's insane.
No fucking way.
Yeah, it's all deep fake and it works extremely well.
I've seen the Joe Rogan ones and stuff, like the
Yep.
deep fake Rogan ones about some like,
Huberman.
yeah, yeah, they were promoting. Can't remember what exactly it was, but it was like an on it competitor nootropic thing that Joe Rogan fake promoting. I was like, damn, this company is either gonna make 100 M's or get sued to the fucking ground. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And a lot of the time, these guys are just using random individuals and they test a million different marketing angles with it. But
for
that is
sure.
still hitting. And that is still what I see a majority of the time. It is
Yeah.
talking in the third person or as if they are talking to someone else in the ads, just
Yeah.
casually conversing about it as if it's something that's in the media already.
Have you seen the street interview style ads, which is
I
like
have,
the you know Konzori, the hype boosting shoe?
yeah,
Bro,
now they went
I
into the
saw that. I was
running.
like, yo, this is like actually pretty genius. Because the main thing is it's very believable, you know, like you could literally see the before and after, and then backed by their reaction. I'm like, damn, like this is actually quite interesting.
Yeah, and they're just stereotypical dropshippers because you saw them catch the trend of the pheromone perfume. Like pheromone perfumes are still popping off, and Kanzuri just immediately hopped on that trend. Just had a hot girl in the ad and did the same exact thing that they're doing with the shoes, but they're like, have you tried this perfume yet? Have you tried this cologne yet? And then this like girl goes crazy over the guy after he sprays it on him.
Oh, I didn't even know they sold colognes, bro. That's insane.
They just branched off in the past few months when the pheromone perfume craze hit.
That's so interesting. I think the pheromone perfume trend is like, I don't, if you're trying to build a brand, I don't personally think you should do it because, like, let's be honest, it doesn't work, you know?
There's a lot behind it. You could say with the pheromone perfumes, as long as it's a really good smell, you can say anything's a pheromone perfume nowadays. But
Exactly. But
right,
a good smell is different than advert. Well, the thing is, as long as it smells nice, but also it lasts a long time, you're gonna get repeat purchases. That's it.
right.
Because they don't
That's
actually care if there's perfume like pheromones. As long as you get a compliment, there's like that bias of like, oh my god, it's because of the pheromones, not because I smell good. You know?
that's the first thing. And the second thing is there will be a brand, maybe two brands, that get big enough to where it's a recognizable scent. So people are going to treat it like a trend, or people are going to treat it like it's a famous product that they've seen before. Oh, is that Creed, Aventus, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, is that
True.
on you? They're gonna they're gonna be a couple big hitters that kind of define the space for perfumes, but it's gonna be this like TikTok trendy perfumes.
For sure. I mean, actually, Konzori's one by far the packaging looks the best out of like it looks the most premium. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
No, they do a really good job. I can't say anything bad about them because they've absolutely taken the market.
oh, bro, I didn't know how quickly they scaled this shit up, but this is like super sick what they've done. Huh?
It's cool, man.
Respect it.
There's a lot of people out there coming up with some really innovative shit. We have people that we talk to that are doing 15 mil a month and they're just in their young 20s and
50 a month?
15 a
Oh,
month
15.
and they're
Okay.
absolutely crushing it. I mean, bro, if we talk about that affiliate space, we get into private offers, ClickBank, everything of the sort, that's when we'll start talking about 20, 30, 40, 50 million a month. That's these insane advertisers that just
I
absolutely crack it.
I do know that there's like some like hidden killers in the affiliate space that just like crush.
They don't talk to anyone.
Yeah, and I wonder why though. Like, what's the I guess like in why are they not as public about it? I wonder.
It's very so I don't know if you were in on it when this happened last year, but Alpiline was really going off, and its ClickBank was just like any other year.
What's Alpaline?
It was a weight loss supplement that was going crazy on ClickBank, which is an affiliate network. And
Adaptal is it Adaptaline?
no, it's
How do you
Alpiline,
spell
but
it?
people could be trying to run it as something else.
Okay.
But anyway, what was happening was ClickBank has been like, well, ClickBank has been ClickBank for X amount of time, and no one's really said anything crazy about it. In 2017, there was a little bit of a craze with ClickBank where people just like it started going public again. Um, but last year, the same thing happened where a lot of these ecom kids started learning about ClickBank and just started running it up. And I think that's why these affiliate marketers are keeping quiet because these ecom kids swarmed in and were just stealing UGC, running up UGC with the same landers. And so our ads were just dying off 10 times quicker than they ever would. And I'm telling you, bro, like anyone that was running a dropshipping store was running Alpaline at that time, which is ridiculous because it had never been the case before. There was a blip of that in 2017, but now you hear it again, right? There's no one that's doing ClickBank. This is probably the first time you're hearing ClickBank again in X amount of months. But this is the hottest time for affiliate marketing because it's the weight loss industry. People are new year, new me right now, January, February, March, and so it's the easiest time to be successful with affiliate marketing.
Interesting. Affiliate marketing was never something that I'd imagine people made a lot of bank on. But last year, like since I moved to Dubai, I've heard like these rumors about these like crazy affiliate marketers. I'm like that, like, and they're not even selling anything like normal, like weight loss or something. It's like insurance lead gen or something, you know?
Yeah, it depends which avenue you go down. We've done both, but you can go down the insurance route, sell auto leads, you can sell Medicare leads, ACA, everything of the sort, or you can go the route of selling supplements. Whether it's like hearing supplements, it could be weight loss supplements, it doesn't matter. You can run it up, get two times return on ad spend. And the cool thing about something like that is you don't have to pay for COGS or anything of the sort. You're just paying for your advertising costs and then your commission. That's it. You don't worry about any customer service.
That's so interesting. Cool, dude. It's been a pleasure as always. Us chatting. Um, Oh, actually, where can people find you? I know you have a pretty big Twitter presence, so I'll obviously link that and then probably drop like your Calendly, or do you want your website linked?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely drop a Calendly, but right now, yeah, going on growwithvista.com is typically the best. My Calendly's right at the bottom there. And then
Sure.
to Nate.Google, I'm constantly trying to post as much as I can on Twitter. I'm doing a horrible job at it, but I need to I need to post a little bit more value. There's a lot of cool things we're finding that I don't want to keep to myself in terms of like for instance, like YouTube or things we're finding with the display network, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to just keep all that to myself. It's very hard to run, but maybe someone can use it. And I gotta be able to post more. So Twitter would be the best spot.
All right, cool. I'll make sure to link your Twitter and the website for you guys as well. So yeah, any ecom brands watching this, like if you guys want to actually scale with Google, Nate and Kian are your guys.
Oh yeah. Thank you, man. It was a pleasure.
For sure, dude. All right. See ya. Have a good day.
Talk to you soon.